Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Mind Muscle Connection podcast. Today is a solo episode, and I want to talk about why the summer shred approach is not going to work for you and why you need to do something different this time around. And so, just as a final reminder, enrollment for the Performance Recomp Method closes tonight at 11:59 Central Time. So if you've been on the fence or deep down that you don't want to waste another summer spinning your wheels, this is your chance now to hop in, get ready for the summer, and try a different approach heading into the summer. And that's what I want to talk about today specifically is why the summer shred approach isn't going to work. Again, I'm just going to paint a story here. So you've probably done this before, right? Lose some weight, or let's put it this way. Hey, summer's coming up and now you get this urgency of, hey, I need to drop some weight. I need to get leaner. I need to look good for the summer. Again, more time in swimsuit, just obviously short, more revealing clothes overall, right? Short sleeves, shorts, etc. And so that's where, again, if you haven't done anything for the last couple of weeks, or the last couple months or last couple years, you're going to be behind there. And so again, maybe you do this and now you rush into it. Okay, I need to lose 15, 20 pounds here super quick. I want to get a nice little shred in. And so again, you lose some weight, or maybe you don't. Maybe you grind through it. You don't feel good. Maybe you lose a little bit of weight, but then it comes up and down throughout and you never really see any change, right? Or if you do lose weight, it just comes right back on and you just look like a smaller version of yourself. Things don't look like you actually changed anything. Yes, your scale weight changed, but nothing actually changed there. And so I want to talk about why this kind of approach here of you just are going into, oh man, I need to tighten things up for the summer in terms of why this doesn't work. And I see this a lot with people that reach out to me, just people that tell me stories about where they're at, calls I've been on, and then even some clients too, right? There's still some clients that maybe are not on top of things in the winter months, and then summer comes up and now they want to just they want to go all in on something, right? And so I want to talk about why this approach doesn't work. So first, it's not built on habits that promote optimal body comp results, okay? So anytime you try to rush, you just are like not doing anything and you go straight into now trying to slash your calories, increase your movement, etc. That's not going to be great from a body composition standpoint. Again, you may lose some weight doing that, but from a body comp standpoint, you're not going to improve how you actually look. And that's ultimately what people want. And again, this usually is from just yes, low calories. The low calories aren't necessarily the issue. It's the fact that they just cut calories, right? You just try to starve yourself. Low protein. You're also trying to do a ton of cardio on top of it, trying to do extra movement. Maybe in your weight training sessions, now you have this kind of urgency and you lift in a way that you think is going to burn more calories and get you into a deficit. And again, these just aren't going to lead to optimal body composition results. Again, you may lose weight, but not body composition change. There's also a lack of foundational health going into this a lot of times. It's usually, again, people haven't been on track and now they just want to completely change everything that they're doing. And there's just a huge shift from what you were doing to where you want to go. And so there's this lack of foundational health that we need to have in place so your body is better positioned to actually change and respond to that versus just throwing a bunch of stuff on when it's not ready to do that. Unfortunately, there does need to be some legwork some pre-work that we need to do before we go straight into just shredding for the summer, right? So again, there's that lack of foundational health. And so really what that's going to look like is you're going to feel like it's an uphill battle. You're going to feel like you're going to have to grind for every pound loss. And again, even if you do that, it may not actually be the right body comp that we want to get to. A lot of these summer shred plans and stuff and this, hey, get ready for summer or cut now, or you just decide, hey, I want to cut because the summer's coming up it's not accounting for your previous dieting history and your current body composition. It's just a one size fits all approach. And again, if your dieting history is either, hey, you've been trying to fat loss diet on really low calories for the last little bit and you're not seeing that change, and then now you want to try to also throw a summer shred onto it, you're not going to succeed in that process. And it also is really dependent on your current body composition as well too. Again, where you're at from that perspective is also going to be super important. If you don't have a lot of muscle and then you also try to now weight loss diet on top of it, also with maybe trying to weight loss diet for the last 3 to 4 months, now we're going to continue to lose more weight and it's not necessarily going to come from fat. Or again, maybe some of it is, but again, we're not doing things that are going to optimize our body composition here. So again, we need to account for our previous dieting history and current body composition. I've seen a lot of times people want to come into a coaching program and they've been trying to diet on super low calories. And then they just want to come in and, hey, I haven't been able to lose fat, but I don't want to increase my calories. I want to stay where I'm at. And again, I've never seen that approach work. There's always if you've tried to fat loss diet on low calories for a while and it hasn't worked, there needs to be some sort of like pre-work, like I talked about there, to where we're fueling enough. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to eat 3,000 calories, but we want to be fueling enough. Again, this approach leads to micronutrient deficiencies. And so you feel like crap. And then, this leads to all kind of other issues down the line when we are lacking essential vitamins and minerals, right? And this is where people start to get more long-term health consequences from it. Women will see a little bit more autoimmune issues pop up. You'll feel like crap, right? Your libido may tank. Sleep starts to get impacted. Maybe you're like getting stressed out more often. Now you have more anxiety, right? This micronutrient deficiency leads to a lot of issues. And again, people think they're doing the right thing by losing weight. And again, maybe for you, you do need to lose some weight. But if you're going at it from a standpoint of you're just slashing your calories and not watching what you're eating, you're just like eating, trying to eat less, or maybe cut out like meals, you're going to lead to issues, right? I can't tell you how many times I've talked to people where they're like, oh yeah, because of my autoimmune disorder, because of this, when they don't understand that the things that they've done have led them to that point. Again, that's just a blunt way to say it. Again, if we're just because you're tracking your calories or you try to lose weight, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be in optimal health. And a lot of times, a lot of these autoimmune issues and other issues, like more bigger health issues, they stem from lifestyle habits and what people have done in the past. And again, that's a hard thing for people to accept, because then you have to take responsibility for that there. Whereas it's easy to be like, well, it's because of my autoimmune disorder, or because, hey, I have this, right? I have type 2 diabetes, or hey, I have this issue. When again, a lot of these, yes, there are some genetic predispositions to these, but a lot of times it just comes down to poor methods that people have done, whether it's just complete neglect of their health and fitness, or it's, hey, you had the right intentions, but the way you were going about it was not good. And it comes back to this summer kind of shred approach here. This approach doesn't focus on any training adaptations. Again, the only training adaptation people are trying to get from this is to burn more calories. Again, that's a huge misuse of time and how we can use training. And so again, we're doing a lot of work, but we're not really doing anything with it, right? So again, people are trying to burn the most calories. And then on top of it, they're eating low calorie. They're missing out on a lot of vitamins and minerals. And again, that just exacerbates this issue even more, right? Now you're going to deplete even the little amount of micronutrients that you have. And that's going to lead to all those issues that I had just talked about previously. And so again, there's no training adaptation. We're not getting anything out of our training other than just trying to burn calories. And that's, to me, a very poor use of training if that's how we're going to do it. Again, this approach neglects overall lifestyle habits. A lot of times it's just, hey, here's the calorie amount you need to be at, 1,200 calories, do this, go train as much as you can, and then that's it. When again, I've talked about this a lot recently, our overall stress load on the body is super important. Our sleep circadian rhythms important. The environment that we're in is super important. And so again, we need to also factor in these lifestyle habits, and a lot of these summer shred programs and methods do not take into account for that. And they're missing a huge piece of the puzzle. This can also lead to poor gut health. This kind of low calorie approach, high output, is going to lead to some gut dysbiosis, which in turn is going to lead to more issues down the line, right? This is going to lead to more micronutrient deficiencies. You're not going to be absorbing everything. And that leads to all the things that I had already talked about, right? So again, this is going to lead to poor gut health. And then again, you're just going to have this increased risk of rebounding in the summer when you go and enjoy whatever you want to do. If you do all these things, and then now we just go back to what you were doing before, because, hey, I don't have to get ready for anything anymore. You're going to have this rebound. That's going to lead to issues down the line. And then you're going to recycle, but you're going to be in a worse spot. And you're just going to continue to do this over and over again. And so this is where the performance recomp method comes in. This is why you need a different approach heading into the summer this year. And you need the performance recomp approach, because you actually change the way you look, not just scale weight. So you're actually going to improve the way you look. You're going to perform better in the gym, where you're actually going to have a reason for training other than just burning calories, right? You're going to perform better in the gym and in life, right? So again, if you do a lot of things over the summer that involve physical activity or more movement or whatever it may be, you're going to be able to perform better doing those things as well too. And you'll also feel better than you ever have. Because of that, you're going to be more likely to maintain your progress. You're going to be, and to build off of it, right? You're going to, instead of this vicious cycle negatively, you're going to have this vicious cycle positively down the line, right? Now, again, if you could maintain the results that you see and you can continue to build off that and you keep moving forward, you don't have to restart in a worse spot and then continue down this vicious cycle. And again, you're going to have this lower risk of overeating and regaining, right? Because again, the approach we're going to take is going to make sure that you don't feel that way in the summer. And so here's what you actually need this summer. You need smart training. You need structured training to match your goals and lifestyle, what you're doing, right? Again, whether for you, maybe we focus a little bit more on cardiovascular adaptations. Maybe it is, hey, we really need to focus on hypertrophy, or maybe it's a good combination of both. Whatever it is, we need that training to have structure, and it needs to have a goal, not just burning more calories. We want to do enough to stimulate muscle and performance, not to fry your CNS, right? Not to fry your overall, like to just add more stress onto your body. We want to focus on progression over exhaustion in our training. You need strategic nutrition. You need nutrition that's going to fuel your lifts and recovery, not just low calorie. Again, we may get you, depending on where you're at, you may need to be in a calorie deficit to look better in the summer, but it's going to be a strategic calorie deficit, not just, oh, hey, just eat whatever, eat less meals and you're good to go. We need to fuel our lifts and we need to fuel our recovery. We want obviously to get enough protein to support lean mass and performance. And if we have a high output, we need to make sure we have carbs to also support that. And also you're getting this within the strategic nutrition. It's not going to require you skipping every barbecue or tracking every last little bite or not being able to enjoy things over the summer. You're going to be able to incorporate those things. And there's going to be no rebound dieting, right? We phase things out to prevent that. And we have strategies in place to make sure that you don't do that. And if we're doing all these other things, the pre-work that I talked about, and just building that foundational health, that's going to be less likely. And then we have lifestyle and recovery support, right? So again, your overall stress load matters. And when you ignore it, your body doesn't adapt. It defends. It's just surviving versus actually adapting and changing. So we build in habits and systems to manage stress, improve sleep, and support metabolic health. And when you do that, you're going to have more effective and efficient body comp change, and your overall health is going to be in a much better spot, and you're going to perform better. So just again, how the Performance Recomp Method fits in. Again, it's not a random plan or app that just spits out macros. Okay. It's coach-led, high touch, one-on-one coaching that I've built through years of experience with real people. And again, this is specifically for people over 30. So again, we do training that adapts with you, nutrition coaching that evolves through different phases of recomp. And it's biofeedback-based progress, not just chasing the scale, because again, we want to make sure that your overall health is in a good spot. And you get personalized support from me to help you pivot, troubleshoot, and make real progress. Again, I'm not just trying to help you look good for one season. I'm helping you build a body that stays leaner, stronger, and more functional for life, and that you feel better long-term as well too. So again, doors close tonight at 11:59 Central. And if you are interested in this or you want to learn more, shoot me a message on Instagram, just DM me Performance and we can chat about it in more detail. Or there's a link in the show notes to set up a call and we can chat about the program in more detail. But again, you do need to apply by this deadline tonight. Otherwise, I'm shutting the doors on that. And I have other things that I need to work on in the business moving forward. So that's it. If you have any questions for me, let me know. I'll chat with you guys soon.